It has been a year of extreme weather, roaring wildfires, warming oceans, deadly flash floods, and scorching temperatures. And now new data reveals that for the 12th consecutive month, the Earth has set a new record for global heat. Our senior climate change correspondent, Susan Ormiston, joins us live from Amsterdam. So, Susan, this report is just out by the EU's climate change service, Copernicus. What are the key findings?
We know that 2023 was a record-setting year for heat. What we wanted to know is, would this continue? And now we have the data from Copernicus confirming that from last June through this May, we have seen record-breaking heat, month over month, hotter than it's ever been since the late 1850s. So this is data that confirms that 2023 was not a one-off, that this has continued into this year, and that's very significant. I mean, we are looking at the potential of temperatures easing up a little bit in the coming months as the weather pattern El Nino gives way to La Nina, which may have a cooling effect on the Earth. But remember, those ocean temperatures are still staying high, and that's causing all kinds of repercussions. We're seeing tornadoes. We're projecting an explosive hurricane season in the Atlantic Basin. So those things yet to come. Antonio Guterres, the UN Secretary General, made a major statement today on World Environment Today, referencing this new data and warning the world that it must do something. Here's Guterres.
Already this year, a brutal heat wave has baked Asia with record temperatures, shriveling crops, closing schools, and killing people. Cities from New Delhi to Bamako to Mexico City are scorching. Here in the West, savage storms have destroyed communities and lives.
We saw multiple tens of deaths in Mumbai. Upwards of 60 people died during those elections here recently. We're hearing about record temperatures, heat waves starting now in California, in the West, and in Arizona. And Guterres reminded the world that we are now looking at that 1.5 degrees Celsius warming and seeing that being broken a couple of times, and that if we continue on this pattern, that will be broken more frequently. Remember, that is the benchmark that the world agreed to back in 2015 in Paris as a goal to keep warming under that. Unfortunately, that is being broken.
So, Susan, two-pronged question. Will this data that's coming out have any real impact? And also, what's the significance of the report coming out today?
Well, we're in the Netherlands this week because the European Union elections start tomorrow here in the Netherlands and continue through Sunday in the rest of Europe. 27 countries, about 360 million potential voters, looking at the next slate of elections in Europe and saying, how are we going to deal with climate? Last time, 5 years ago, these elections were dubbed the climate elections. It's not so this year. People are worried about security with the war in Ukraine and in the Middle East. They're worried about cost of living. They still say that climate is a major issue, of course, but it's not at the top of their priority list. We're also seeing a shift in politics in Europe. Here in the Netherlands, a party that is on the far right of the political spectrum won the most votes in national elections. And far-right parties across Europe are urging voters to consider climate in their voting and to, quote, resist climate hysteria. So there's politics at play here in Europe this week and in the coming elections in the United States. And that's why the timing of this data and Guterres' strong appeal today is so important.
Susan Ormiston in Amsterdam. Thank you, Susan.